So 6 years is a long time to be away, but let me give you a little glimpse of what I've been up to. Come here. Come here. Gotta take the pacifier. Oh, this is Ava Grace. Can you say hey? Cheese. Can you tell the internet hey?
Hey.
Believe it or not, she gets her hair from me. Hello world, my name is David Dorn, and this is Preposterous, which is not your typical Bible study. So it's been like 6 years since I've made an episode of Preposterous, but after some contractual things were taken care of, we're back with new episodes. Now, a lot of things have happened in the last 6 years. I mean, the internet, the world, you, my audience, and I myself have all changed. You know, I originally created Preposterous to be this online interactive video Bible study for youth and young adults. I hope this new version of the show is just as relevant as it was the first time around. In fact, I'm affectionately naming this season 3.0, and we're going to cover my favorite book of the Bible, which is the Gospel of John. Now, John was written by Jesus' best friend, the disciple John, the disciple that Jesus had a special bond with. Out of the 12 disciples, Jesus had 3 close friends, Peter, James, and John. But John emerged as Jesus' best friend. And so John has a way of telling the story unlike the other Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. I find it both personal and incredibly well written. So, for the first time in a long time, let's jump into it. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So let's talk theology. Theology is our understanding of God, and everybody has a theology or an understanding of God. You may be an atheist, and yet you have a theology, albeit your theology is that God doesn't exist. But theology matters because what we think about God influences our lives. And what John says about God, Jesus, and light and darkness right here, it really matters. John claims that Jesus is the Word of God with a capital W. So right from the beginning, John claims Jesus is not just an equal to God, but that Jesus, his best friend, is God. This is huge. John is claiming to his audience that Jesus was not created by God, but that Jesus is God. In the 1st and 2nd century, and frankly to this day, the church fought back people claiming that Jesus was like a step below God or that Jesus wasn't God at all. But according to John, in the beginning, Jesus was with God and Jesus was God. He was with God in the beginning. This sets up an essential belief in Christianity, the Trinity, which we'll talk about in another episode. But John also claims that in Jesus was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. Now, if you're reading that in an English class, you think, wow, that sounds pretty poetic, which it is. And that life was the light of all mankind. John and Lin-Manuel Miranda would have gotten along great together. But what John is saying, beyond dropping a poetic beat, impacts us. Are you familiar with light and darkness? Like metaphorical light and darkness? I mean, it's a basic human understanding of the world that there is this metaphorical light and darkness. You don't have to be a Christian to acknowledge that there is good and there is evil type stuff in the world. Now, most people want to be a person that spreads more light and less darkness in the world. Let's face it, that's not always easy to do. There's a whole lot of darkness out there and it can feel overwhelming. In fact, I think being light in a dark world is darn near impossible alone. But John says the life indwelling Jesus is the light that darkness cannot contain. That the life Jesus gives us is the light of the world. Remember in episode 1, season 4, of course you do, we talked about how Jesus called his followers to be the light of the world. Literally, in Matthew 5:14, it says, "You are the light of the world." This is what he's talking about. The new life you get when you place your faith in Jesus means you become light in a dark world, and you're not alone. Here's the thing. Jesus is the light the darkness cannot overwhelm. Friends, there's a lot of darkness in this world. If you don't believe in evil, just look at the news. From Larry Nassar to hundreds of priest in the Catholic Church to Bill Cosby. Dang it, Bill Cosby. I loved your show. But here's the thing. A lot of people do a lot of really dark stuff. Yet if we get new life from Jesus, our new defining attribute as his followers is to be light to the world. That means if we lean into Jesus, darkness won't be able to fully consume us, even though darkness tempts us all of the time. Now, none of us are free from sin, but because of Jesus, we aren't consumed by it. So what does it look like to be that light in the darkness? What does it look like for the darkness of the world not to overshadow you and me? Those are abstract questions, I know, so let's get practical. What does it mean, then, for the pain of divorce not to crush you? What does it look like for you not to give into either end of this partisan divide that we find in politics? What does it look like for you to forgive a family member that's hurt you? What does it look like to show love and mercy to an ex? Man, all of a sudden, this poetic intro into the story of Jesus gets real personal. If Jesus is life and light, and he gives it to you and me, how do we then live differently? So the question of the day is this, and I want you to answer it in the comments down below. What does it look like for you to become light in the midst of darkness? Whatever your situation is, what does it look like to shine the light of Jesus there? I can't wait to hear from you. Friends, I am so glad to be back with you. I hope you're glad that you watched. If so, you can like this video. Make sure you subscribe for more. Go to the website, PREPOSTEROUSproject.com. There you will find all of the videos. There's links for you to download this video and to download the study guide. So if you're watching this with a youth group or a small group or a Sunday school class, you have questions that you can continue the conversation on at home. I've also got a lot of new social media links that you can check out for daily content, so you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links are down below. I hope that you will do that. But thanks for watching. You're going to be seeing a whole lot of me real soon. God bless. Tell them bye-bye. Say thanks for watching. Can you say thanks for watching?
Thanks for watching.
Oh, say subscribe.